A solid nighttime routine is critical, not only to be able to get a great night's sleep tonight, but also to set you up to win tomorrow. So on this video, I'm going to show you some strategies to develop a nighttime routine for yourself so you can get the most deep sleep and wake up refreshed and ready to get after it tomorrow. I'm Dr. Alain Desaulniers, the nervous system coach. Let's go. A mentor once told me that if you want to win your life, just start by winning your year. And if you want to win your year, just start by winning your month. And if you want to win your month, just win your week. And then if you want to win your week, just start by winning your day. And if you want to win your day, win the morning. So if you've been following me for any length of time, you know that I'm a giant advocate for the critical need to have an awesome morning routine. That sets you up to be able to have success, to be able to have health, to be able to have vitality, longevity, all the amazing things that you desire in your life. It all starts by mastering the morning routine. But what's interesting is that so many people, like myself way back when, I would go through my day, and by the end of the day, I'd be exhausted or whatever was happening, or if I was stressed or whatever it was, but I would just go to bed thinking, okay, well, I'm gonna restart tomorrow, and that's when it's all gonna be okay. But what I came to realize, and what we teach now, and what we know now, is that your morning to tomorrow, like if you're gonna have a successful morning practice, a successful morning, a successful day tomorrow, that morning practice, that morning ritual and routine starts tonight. So how we set up tonight, how we end our days, has a huge effect on how we start tomorrow. So here are some tips to make sure that you can get the most deep sleep, the most restful, most impactful, most restorative and reparative sleep that you can. First, you can start by setting up your environment. I mean, I know as a dad, I can just fall asleep anywhere. I'm at the mall, I'm with my kids, sleeping, waiting for them in the car. I can fall asleep pretty much anywhere, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I have good quality sleep. So making sure that our environment, where we're gonna sleep, is dialed in so that we can get the most restorative sleep. So a few key points onto setting up your room for success. So when it comes to the room that you sleep in, a couple key things that we wanna look at: that it's dark and that it's cool. As the night goes on, we want to make sure that we're not stimulated by any lights from the outside, especially that if you're in a more urban environment and you've got street lights and all kinds of lights coming in from the outside, you want to block that out as much as possible. So blackout blinds, whatever you need to do for curtains to make sure that it's as dark as possible in the room. The other thing is to set your thermostat to a cooler temperature. You want to make sure that the room is cooler at night. Now, while it may not feel as comfortable when you're awake if it's a bit cooler, your body temperature naturally goes down at night. So you want to make sure that the room is kind of acclimatized to that. And if you want to warm up, never mind just making the room warmer, just make yourself warmer by getting more blankets and getting cozy in the blankets. So staying in a colder room is going to be key. Also, if you live in an urban environment, or if you live in a home with more people that are going to be awake, one thing that you can consider is adding white noise. So just adding, we have that in our kids' room. There's like a that goes on for most of the night, and it just allows to drown out any of the other noises that may be around. And finally, when it comes to setting up your environment, you want to make sure that as the night goes on, that you start to dim the lights. We really want to mimic the circadian rhythms that your body has with the daytime. So as the sunlight goes down, we want to make sure that the lights that we're starting to see are starting to go down. So dimming the lights and making sure that we're preparing ourselves for sleep. The next thing to get ready for an awesome night's sleep is to have a brain dump. When we're so filled with stresses and deadlines and projects and responsibilities, there's so much going on throughout the day that we want to make sure that when we go to bed that we're just free of any of that. You're not going to bed thinking about all the stuff that you have to do tomorrow, that, oh, I got to remember to do this, I got to remember to pick up this, I got to remember, or I got to call this person, I got to, whatever it is. And make sure you just get it out of your head. Get a notebook, get your phone, get the notes app on your phone, get a tablet, whatever it is, and get all of the ideas, all of the things, all of your to-dos, everything that you need for today out on the paper. Because the more that we try to keep things in our head, the more anxious that we become, the more anxiety builds throughout the night, and we don't fall asleep, we don't get a good night's sleep. The next, after your brain dump, is you go to gratitude, having a gratitude journal. There's a great journal, it's called the 5-Minute Journal. You can buy the physical journal, you can just find the questions online. You're really just answering 3 questions in the morning, 2 questions in the evening. I've actually got a 3rd question that I answer in the evening. So every evening, you're answering the question, like, what went great today? What did I love about today? What am I grateful for today? You're setting your mind, you're setting your neurology to think about gratitude. Science has shown us that the more that we can concentrate, focus on gratitude, gratitude, the more that causes us to be at ease, and less anxiety, less stress allows us to sleep better. So what went great today? What am I grateful for today? What would I change about today? And then finally, how do I want to wake up feeling tomorrow? So really think about that. Like, do I want to wake up feeling energized? Do I want to wake up feeling calm? Do I want to wake up feeling at peace? Do I want to wake up feeling invigorated? How do I want to feel? So think you're really pre-framing how the morning is going to go based on what you want today. Now, before I share my number one tip, a few things to avoid. You want to avoid caffeine late in the day. I mean, no coffee, no caffeine after about 2 p.m. We know that the half-life of coffee is about 6 hours or so, 6 to 8 hours. So that means that half of the caffeine that your body ingested is still like running through your body. And so the more caffeine that you have later, I mean, oftentimes I used to think, and this is a mistake that I made a long time ago, is that I used to think like, well, I can fall asleep anywhere and everywhere. I mean, it doesn't matter. I can drink a coffee right before I go to bed and I can totally pass out, no problem. And while that may be the case for you, what we know is that while it may not cause you problems getting to sleep, but we know that the quality of sleep really diminishes. You have less time in deep sleep, your sleep cycles are just really off, and it doesn't allow you to have a great night's sleep. Even though you may be able to get to sleep, the quality of sleep is off. You also want to avoid screen time. This is hard to do, I get it, but the more that we can just put the phone away, turn the TVs off, just do whatever we can to just have a calm time before we go to bed is so critical. Not always easy, but critical. Just something to be considerate. This is something I'm also terrible at, but we're getting better. As long as we're aware of it, we can start to change it. Next, and this is really big if you're in a relationship, is that you want to avoid big conversations before going to bed. No arguments, no talking about really heavy subjects. It's really a time to connect and unwind. So if your partner wants to get into something right before bed, you can just tell them, listen, this is really important to me. What you have to say is really important, but our sleep is so critical. So let's just shelve this and let's talk about it tomorrow. And the thing that's been the biggest game changer for me, and absolutely every single person that I know that has taken this on, is right before going to bed, you take a shower. More specifically, you take a cold shower. Now that might seem crazy. That might seem like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna get so ramped up and so like, right before going to bed. You don't want to stress yourself out before going to bed. You absolutely don't. But what we know, and I know this for myself, even though I've gone, let's say if I've gone all day, I've had a super busy day, I've got the kids down at night, I've got projects and deadlines and things that I'm working on up until I'm about to go to bed. The one thing that I know that shifts my body from that sympathetic state, which is that stress state, that stress mode, is to really flip the switch and bring it back into the parasympathetic mode, which is a more relaxed state. And there's no better way to do that than to take a cold shower. So while it may feel really stressful while you're in the shower for the moment, it actually feels great when you get out. But the effect that it has on your body afterwards is that it really shifts and causes your body to become in a parasympathetic state, which is that rest state that we want absolutely right before we go to bed. So not only will you feel clean, refreshed, and ready for bed, but afterwards, once you've had your shower and get into bed, a great thing to do is you can do a meditation. So I'll post a great 8-minute guided meditation that I did. I'll put the link in the description below and above here. That'll help you get centered, relaxed, and ready for deep sleep. Okay, so check those out, and we'll see you on the next video.